say, s, e, I, s, e, I, say, say, this, is, is, this, up, li, up, l, e, up, li, up, li, sharply. Say this sharply. Say this sharply. Say this sharply. Say this sweetly. E. So the air is pushing out the sides of my tongue. It's pushing out of that bit. And my tongue tip is just pressing against the alveolar ridge. Like if I did a L, as if you're about to do the L, and then you block off the airflow with the sides of the tongue. So basically do a N. And then you're going to push the air through. And then it will just land in that L position. K. 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 And that's where the air's getting through there. Sweetly. You can do sweetly, where you just do a normal, where the tongue tip comes away and goes up again. But I find that more difficult to say, to be honest. Sweet, once you've learnt to do the lateral releasing TL, it's the easier one to go into an L straight after, just like bottle, battle. You see my tongue tip stays up. Paddle, waddle. Instead of going paddle, like that, and the tongue coming away and up again. You can do either one, it doesn't really matter. I think it's easier and faster to say sweetly, sweetly, like that, instead of sweetly, sweetly. It just sounds a little bit like the mouth is getting a little bit stuck. It's having to stumble a little bit, instead of little bit. If I say little bit, you hear it sounds okay, but little bit, it's just faster and a bit easier once you've trained that movement. Say this sharply, say this sweetly, say this shortly, say this softly, softly. Softly. Say this 16. 16. 16. 16 times 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 in succession. 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 Say this sharply, say this sweetly, say this shortly, say this softly, say this 16 times in succession. Say this sharply, say this sweetly, say this shortly, say this softly, say this 16 times in succession. Say this sharply, say this sweetly, say this shortly, say this softly, say this 16 times in succession. Say this sharply, say this sweetly, say this shortly, say this softly, say this 16 times in succession. Say this sharply, say this sweetly, say this shortly, say this softly, say this 16 times in succession. Succession. See, that was a bit thick instead of thuck. It was a bit of an uck instead of an uck, right? We want that ut vowel to be instead of Tip of the tongue behind the top teeth. Oh, we didn't finish. Say this 16 times in succession. I beg your pardon, we did actually. You get it again, oh well. Tip of the tongue behind the top teeth. Push the middle forward. Say this sharply, say this sweetly, say this shortly, say this softly, say this 16 times in succession. I did a glottal stop before that in there, and I can just glide the previous word into it 16 times in succession instead of times in. We want to just glue the words together, times in succession, and keep phonating as well. Times in succession instead of times in succession, like that. We want the z, the voice, to keep going through. Times in succession.